welcome to recap for turn 34, or excuse me, turn 43. Some dyslexia, huh? From my Age of Wonders 3 Draconian Necromancer strategy series. Over the course of the turn, Saren saw the writing on the wall and surrendered to me. And so, because she had sent forces against me here to try and capture this city, so a number of units, but you can see how I easily fend them off between magic and the 2 units I have in here. So it's kind of neat to see. So Scourge the Undead, right? Especially if they don't disjunct it, you can easily defend against stuff. So we'll see how I do this. So these guys are already being summoning and splitting their armies. Some guys are coming forward. There's a Bone Collector, just keeping my Mana Core Rider safe there, having the guys approach. And the Lost Souls can be annoying in that they resuscitate and then flank you. Not because they're super powerful, but I like tucking the Mana Core up here. Let's slow it down. I like tucking the Mana Core up here because he can't be flanked and he only has to deal with 1 unit at any given time. Oh. They gave them Dark Gift, huh? Yeah. So, and they all stand in that spot too, so it makes it easier just to deal with them when they're all resuscitating in the same spot. But you see there's some flanking happening, which is how this is how they're supposed to try to beat you, where they have the numbers. But thankfully, kept my Mana Core pretty safe going out here to deal with the ranged unit. Positioning him over these guys, which would normally be revived. So that makes things a little easier. That extra melee damage is annoying to deal with, but again, keeping him over here so they don't spawn, though I think they might be able to spawn here. So clearing people out, yeah, they both spawn there, but it's okay. A little flanking. Yeah, I forgot about that. See, the flanking is the dangerous thing, but 2 units versus 1. Position him over there on purpose, knock them out. That's good. And there we go. So that's how it happens. So after that, not going so well to them, they ended up surrendering because that gambit wasn't effective. So a few items have arrived. I'll talk about those probably this turn. Let's look at what happened. So we had a easy peasy battle here. Took a few bards because they got heal undead if they become undead with my Empire upgrade. So that's real nice. What else? Some minor stuff there. Flying units versus these guys, pretty easy. Minor units there. I took out this rando tank. These guys went above ground for a sec. Took out, I guess their leader? With this army bequeathed to me when Gustav surrendered, which is super handy, so I was able to go to the east and knock them out. And that's probably not too terribly interesting. With this very high champion level, took out this dungeon. Low-key battle. Very low-key. Captured a watchtower, woo! Getting these guys leveled up to gold as they hang out with my very experienced army. And then took them in here and got them to gold because they were able to beat up these high tiers. And I was actually able to greater reanimate undead this Deathbringer so that now I've got more options. I can send him with a different stack to be ghouling things. So let's look at our borders. So this board down here, I'm starting to ignore certain low-key structures because it's not... You can see that despite my huge-ass armies, I just have so many cities captured at this point that I can actually start spending money on building units if I want to, because I'm staying ahead of my upkeep, which is difficult to get to, but these are looking good. But yeah, so you can see I'm starting to bring my guys west now that I got to the bottom left corner, so I got my flying stacks, clearing out stuff this way. Got my amazing High Elf Warlord going west, some random units for heal, scouting. So I got this unit that I'm heading this way into enemy territory to push this back. Got these folks trying to hold this spot that was a little thin, so they're doing fine. Lots of good heal amongst them. This guy can tank everything, and these guys can just heal him. Been holding, just raising this city. It's undead, so I can't plunder it for cash, unfortunately, but I can ghoul raise it. So my rogue and his merry band, and I also have a stack that I've looped around this way that's kind of hanging out with them, and I'll be sending them on their way. Holding down the fort here. They surrendered, Saren surrendered, so I got this city for free, so I'm raising it because I can't plunder it, unfortunately. So they're right in the heart, and I couldn't defend it very well because of all this other stuff, so yeah, just raising it so it's one less thing I have to worry about. As far as underground, you can see that I'm slowly having this guy who's actually pretty good leveled now. Just trying to clear out this bottom corner. Seeing some folks here with my scouting. We took this city recently, migrating it to Draconians. This city was finally raised, seeing this stuff around here. And so I got forces here, and I'm hiding this guy down here because I'd rather keep him around rather than run into them. But I do want to capture this pocket here before I go too far west. I want to clear this out so I can be on my way. But then I've got one of my main stacks. Just love this guy. Get him up to gold. Mining out for money, but some really excellent units that have been ghouled that are kind of in the center. I'm going to be sending them down and west. Finally got a hero to join with this guy who's been holding down the fort here, some support units, some ranged units. So they're going to do a bit of clearing here. And these guys are still kind of in the heart of stuff. And so leveling this crew up, and they're coming down. Sent the secondary crew out here, being led by the Shock Serpent that I want to upgrade, so they'll clear out stuff in the corner. So it's basically like I want my big, powerful stacks by my main early heroes that have high levels to take on, go to the places where the tough battles are, and send my other stacks that are leaderless or mid-tier units, and have them clear out the rest of the stuff, just so that independent camps don't attack me and kind of hurt from behind, using some guys that I ghoul to earn some money by burrowing out caverns. So that's kind of the battlefront situation. And so again, to recap, defeated. 4 have been defeated, so it's just a dreadnought, a sorcerer, and a rogue that I have to worry about. But I mean, it's very clear. It was clear a few turns ago that this game was in the bag. I mean, it's certain that I'm going to win because I just have so much good economy and map control, and all my armies are high-tier units because I am only ghouling high-tier units, and a lot of them have really strong levels. So, and I've done a few quests for that. Where are they? I've done a few quests for this Archon place because I like getting especially the Archon support units. The Archon casters, they're a common reward, so I can pair them with my other armies, and they have some nice abilities. I like the reanimators more, but they have some stuff that's pretty neat in terms of lesser reanimate undead, and they of course have the heal, and they have the throw curse, which reanimators do not, and they do have 3 channels of damage, though we prefer it to be fire, of course, instead of spirit, but pretty good support units, so I've kept them vassalized. I don't think there's been any change to that. In terms of governance, haven't checked in on this in a while. I don't have Peak of Forefathers most places, so this was easy because I do have a few Draconian flyers. And again, I could start building. If I was really worried about winning, I would start building a bunch of them out of this city here that has the Embrace Darkness. And so I'd get the life-stealing Draconian flyers, who have not only life-stealing here, but they have greater life-stealing because I have that Empire upgrade that gives all my infantry and irregulars life-stealing. So it would be greater life-stealing for all of my Draconian flyers. But it's not, I could afford it, but it's not necessary, so I'm just letting that go. Oh, and this is a clear winner for the casting points, got that many turns ago. That for the extra production, because I don't use crushers or chargers, and then that you know about from early on. And if I do end up getting here, I could do this, but again, I don't have a ton of Draconian infantry. I don't have a ton of flyers, otherwise I might consider it. This is probably a clear winner for the well, I really don't need either of these, honestly, at this point. In terms of what I'm building, you can see I'm just kind of producing merchandise in a bunch. If you're seeing laboratories or observatories, it's because I'm trying to expand to get an important structure within the domain. Raising or plundering stuff that I just captured. What am I doing this for? Oh yeah, I'm selling them, right. Selling old enemy structures is good. Harvester's Guild for some basic growth, selling that. If you see this, it's because I'm wanting to do a Palace of the Perished. Still building these Goodwill helmets to reduce cost. Trying to build it to Fire Dragon production, though I'm going to win this game before that's really ready. Doing a bunch of migrations, so that's what's happening with that. And again, I do have some more powerful cities, but otherwise it's pretty low in terms of production for a Necromancer, as you know. You can see some of my main stacks with optimal compositions, and then you can see I've tried to put good units with some of the heroes that I got through surrendering, some of my non-hero stacks, and then just a bunch of people going around. Plenty of builders, ideally, to be building structures. That's part of why I'm doing so well, is because if it's not a city, I'm building fortresses to capture key resources like there, and like here, and like here, and like here. So I'm a big fan of fortresses. I tend to do fortress-heavy stuff that started off as a fortress before it became a city. Same for that. Fortress, especially targeting those blights. That's a town. There for the golds. Yeah. And then down in here, I think. Do I have any fortresses down here? No, it's mostly towns. Yeah, you can see my hero levels, and then and then all this is still the same. Let's look. This has been a long turn. It kind of is. Researching Power Ritual. Usually they're pretty aggressive about disjuncting stuff like this, and it's hard to keep both Power Ritual up and Whispers of the Fallen, with Whispers being the priority usually. But at this point, I don't mind if Whispers is disjuncted because I don't need the research. I'm basically done with all my important stuff. You see I've got empty spots here, so I'm just kind of cleaning up the rest of this. And again, I don't really need Age of Death because I like my high tier units, and Age of Death is usually just giving me low tier stuff. Damnation can be good for targeting cities, but again, it comes late in the game before it really starts to matter that much for me, but getting power ritual up would be nice. And there's fewer enemies these days to disjunct it, of course, so that is nice. But let's look at item edge. What has changed since I reviewed this a few turns ago? This guy is mostly the same. Hero I don't care much about. Here I don't care much about. That's fun, Raise Cadaver. The polearm and +2 attack in the first strike, that's really nice if you can put it on optimal hero. These sandals really nice for fire and spirit, perfect for a necromancer. Perfect for a necromancer here with the fire protection plus unholy champion sometimes useful. So a few new items on him, and this is interesting for the seduce. Don't care. My high elf rogue, who I do care a lot about, got this lovely fire for the fire protection and resistance mostly. Still keeping the +3 defense and physical. Found a way to get some extra frost. Got the tireless boots. So let's see where he's at. So 15 and 14, so not really impressive stats, but the physical protection is nice. This is good. This is pretty close. This is pretty close. And if I need spirit protection for a given battle, just toss on the strong will. What else? Tiger Necromancer, I don't care about, don't care. This guy, so he's got his life drain sword, so he's doing greater life drain. Does it say that? Yeah, greater life drain on this hero, which is great. Shock shield, that's all the same. Put the tireless boots on him so he can keep doing the life steal. These are really interesting for the fire protection, so I'd put that out here if I'm going to go into an important battle, because I can have this on for the battle, but have this on for the turnover, so that the money is saved on the upkeep. So I got a few of these things floating around, which is funny. Yeah. Oh, and what? So what are the? So blight. Yeah, not very impressive for Alondra in terms of resistances. So my high elf warlord, this is my favorite guy. The resistance and hit points. We know about this. We know about that. Though I want to get a lifesteal thing here instead. That will be more valuable. So it's on its way. And this legendary spider mount being here instead of this will mean that this life drain becomes greater life drain. So this guy will be amazing with 22 and 14, and then greater life drain on all his attacks. And then I'm meaning to, oh yeah. So these boots these boots will send the 20% shock protection. So this will be 100%. So I'll be 100% on all of these elementals and 20% on physical, which will be amazing. This is really cool with the Call Lightning ability, but I really do need the lifesteal on the weapon instead. So just really loving this guy. Low key, don't care, and we're back around. So yeah, that's it for the heroes. So I'll see you for turn 44.